and we have Facebook Live with us. So we are going to do a little scoochy scooch so you guys can see. How about these eyebrows? Good morning, Facebook. Good morning. It's good to be with everybody in both capacities. Welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook. My eyes will be going back and forth for this event so that I can talk to the both of you as much as possible. So, welcome to day 2 of the Mystic Rising Challenge. I keep wanting to say Mystic Rising Retreat because that is what I'm here to share. The Mystic Rising Retreat is a retreat that I am hosting in September in Sedona, Arizona. If you've never been to Sedona, that alone is worth the trip. And some of the things that we'll be doing is I am renting an Airbnb, and we will be doing a lot of mystic nurturing. It's for people who can sense the mystic rising within. If you're not clear about what that means, then I definitely, if this is your first day seeing me go live, I invite you to check out the first day because I talk about what the mystic is, who the mystic is, and how you can start to tap into that. Today we're going to talk more about how you can tap into that. Today's part of the challenge is hearing the mystic. Yesterday was meeting the mystic. Today is hearing the mystic. And yesterday's challenge, so if you're just catching on, it is to meditate for 5 to 10 minutes and then email me. My email is abigail@heartsunleashed.com. I would love to hear from you on how this is going for you, what your experience is like. And if you were to do all 3 days, there is a reward for that. And I'm actually going to share the reward tomorrow. So and it has to do with the Mystic Rising Retreat. So, but there's also a reward for signing up in April, which is if you put down your $1,500 deposit to save your spot, you will save $500 on the retreat in total. So that's something to consider, that if you want to come, April is a good month to choose to sign up. So let's talk about hearing the mystic. Yesterday we talked about meeting the mystic. The mystic is that energetic being, your experience of being an energetic being and tapped into your divinity, tapped into your own divine and internal and infinite guidance. And so we always have this infinite guidance coming to and through us. In fact, a very common experience, which is why yesterday's assignment was to meditate. Sorry, my words are not coming in complete flow right now. So, all good. I'm noticing that yesterday's assignment was to meditate. And I have held many meditations. I love guided meditations because they will kind of take you on this like magic carpet ride of where you're being guided through. So if you're not experienced at just simply silent meditation, a lot of times when we first sit down for silent meditation, what happens is we just have all that chatter, that like I shouldn't be sitting here. I have things to do. I forgot to do this. I need to reach out to that person. I haven't called so and so in so long. And so our thought streams, everything up here begins to take over, and it seems as though our meditation is being disrupted. I will offer to you that I usually need to do anything 15 minutes or more before I find flow in it. And so if you want to take on meditation again, set a new alarm, and you can work your way up to, 3 minutes and then 5 minutes and 7 minutes and 8 minutes and 9 minutes. And so a gradual increase is often helpful for this, to where you don't get discouraged. If you try to go straight to a 30-minute meditation, sometimes you might find yourself discouraged. I'm not saying that's the way it has to go, but I want to normalize that if you feel discouraged, it's probably because it is like a muscle. If you went to decided to start going to the gym and get in shape, and you start trying to lift the 50 and 100-pound weights and you can't do it, it's going to be discouraging. But if you go pick the 3, 5, and 7 and 10-pound weights up, you're going to be able to do that, and you're going to feel like you're onto something. I also don't know if you can hear the construction going on outside. I'm at a hotel, and it has been construction since 8 a.m. So I hope that's not too distracting for you. And if you can't hear it and I'm the one distracting you about it, then we'll move on. So the mystic, hearing the mystic, attempt to meditate again. Attempt to meditate again. That's not today's challenge, but that is the offer, the invitation. Keep meditating. Because hearing the mystic is very often, and this is the lesson of today, the brain and mind shouts and screams. The heart often whispers and urges. Same with the gut. So the heart and the gut, it's so loud out there. I have no idea if you can hear it. The heart and the gut have this guidance, have this natural guidance that will move you. And there's something I want to say about this, because it's going to seem a little all over the place while I start, and I'll pull it together. The mind screams and shouts. The heart can scream and shout based on the heartache and pain you've experienced, the disappointment you've experienced in your life. Sometimes our heart, we want to guard it. It's actually from the mind, like, be careful, remember the last time this happened, you don't want to do that. That's all egocentric. So that's not the mystic, that's the ego, that's the personality, that's the small part of you that wants to be safe and comfortable and protected. And it's a natural and very human, like, psychological response to protect yourself and survive threat, right? We are animals first and foremost in this lifetime, learning to survive and protect and make it in the world. And so your head, and it will seem as though your heart sometimes are speaking like, careful, careful, even your gut, like, but it comes from up here, like, remember, so if it feels like that, if it feels fear-based, anxiety-based, if it feels like it comes from overwhelm or self-preservation, it's very often egocentric. So that is something to recognize, because that's not the mystic voice if you're hearing those thoughts. If you're here and you can comment, can you hear the construction outside? Because it's so distracting to me, and I am trying to speak beyond it. I'm just very present to it not being distracting to you, and it's completely distracting me. And there's not much I can do about that. Natural instincts, yes. Okay. Vaguely. Okay, thank you so much, Aviance. I'm going to keep going. I love this conversation, and I'm sorry for the sounds that weren't planned today. That's what we get to move through. Hearing the mystic. hearing the mystic beyond the construction. It's a perfect manifestation of resistance, that the construction being and life being careful, 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 look out. And then there's all this outside influence of, this is how you should do it, this is what should be going on, this is where you should be by this time in your life, this is the right way to do it, and this is the wrong way to do it. And all of these noises, right? That is not your divine guidance. That is not your infinite wisdom. And so when we can create, and if you're a note taker, write these down: silence, stillness, solitude, space. Okay? If you write those down and you create that time and space in your life for a lack of interruption. Now, again, all over the place, I have gone to places, I've gone out of my way to go to quiet places and encounter noise, encounter disruption. Yes, it's like you're scared to give up your natural instincts, for someone should say, think about what people think about. Yeah, there's so many voices, right? There's so many of those things, and we've been living our entire lives that way. That living through our natural instincts helps us stay alive. If you are an animal in the wild, you need to be able to listen for the sounds. You need to be able to know what threats and what environment you're in. And so we do that too. We do, and then we have the people component, right? We have this consciousness level where we can remember, we have the memories, and we have the ability to consider the future, like all of that. and contemplate. And so our mind can really be a little trickster about, oh, be careful of this, watch out for that, you need to be planning more about that, or you need whatever. So space, silence, stillness, solitude is going to give you an opportunity to drop in and hear more divine guidance and clarity. Okay, so the heart whispers and urges. It's much more subtle. You might have a vision or a premonition that guides you. There's been lots of times in my life where I hear one phrase or one word and I seem to know exactly what it means, or I seem to know it's a puzzle piece of a really big puzzle that is going to take me further down my path in life. I use the words fate or destiny lightly because we do have free will, and so everyone has the choice to go in whatever direction and forcefully create a life of whatever they want. What tends to happen when we force our will beyond the greatest good, is that we will be redirected. I like to say anything that is inauthentic will fall apart naturally. Okay? And so it's kind of like erosion. It'll just naturally start to come away in order to redirect you. I like to say rejection is redirection. So it's constantly putting you farther and closer towards your fate or destiny, which is ultimately a purpose for you to fulfill your life's calling. I am sure that most of you have a pretty deeply, you know your purpose, you know your calling, you know what gifts you have, and you know what it would mean to deliver them. And that can scare us. We can resist that our entire lives. People do. People have gifts that they never share with the world. And because, what will people think of me? TJ has said, what will people think of me? What would they do? What would they say? What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I look stupid? What if I mess up? What if I make a mistake? What if it costs me everything? There's so many fear-based thoughts that can prevent us from truly hearing and honoring, because tomorrow's challenge is being the mystic. Okay. But, so we'll talk a little bit more about honoring and following through tomorrow, but hearing the mystic, is about knowing, acknowledging every man and woman wants a purpose. Every man and woman has a purpose. Yes, yes, yes. And so hearing, I'm going to invite you again to sit and listen. So today's challenge isn't necessarily the meditation only, it's the meditation plus. So yesterday's challenge was sit and meditate for 5 to 10 minutes and email me what that experience was like. If you're just catching up today, you can totally complete the challenge. I'm probably going to give everybody till Friday to complete the challenge. I'm deciding that right now in this moment. So you have Friday to do the 3 days worth of challenges, and then contact me, because if you want to take advantage of, I struggle to word things right sometimes. I totally understand that. So if you want to take advantage of the gift of the challenge, which I will announce tomorrow, you have till Friday to do so. So today's part of the challenge is sit and meditate, space, silence, stillness, and solitude, right? Create that opportunity and bring a journal. Bring a journal and write down the things, write down what comes to you. Some of that may be mind chatter, and you can write it down, or you can say, I release that, that feels like it's of my mind, I'm going to let that go. Or you can begin to write down all the things that come to you. And then if you continue to write and you continue to sit and you give yourself that space, which today I'm going to say 15 minutes, if you can create that 15 minutes challenge of sitting and writing everything that comes to you. Because if you get past the mind chatter, and you don't have to get past it, you don't have to do anything, you just have to let come and let be. So write and write and write and write. And my guess is that you'll begin to remember and write, or receive and write more that is of your heart, more that is of your gut, more that is of the divine, of who you came to be, what you came to share, what you came to do. in this life and in this world. And so write those things down. And again, the assignment is email me. Or you can make a post about it. If you want to keep it personal, you can email me, abigail@heartsunleashed.com. You can send me a Facebook message or a DM if that's better, faster, easier. I'm really flexible, but just let me know that you're participating in the challenge. That's the ticket to it. Don't, I might be able to catch on, but just send me a message that you're participating in the challenge and this is how it's going, okay? I would love to interact with you in this challenge and hear how it's going and participate with you. And then, and come back tomorrow because we're going to talk about being the mystic. This means integrating it into your life. I have spent the last 2 years integrating the mystic into my life. There were times as I've been healing and growing and doing transformation that I am getting more and more clear about my divine gifts and services. And it has taken an extra something to be able to offer those in the world. There has been plenty of mind chatter, of resistance saying, that's not safe, don't do that. People are going to judge that. People will have something weird to say. It looks weird. People don't know what even you're doing. There's all sorts of craziness that comes from the mind to protect us from impending doom or threat or failure. If you would like to hear the mystic, I don't want it to get in the way of what you're going to do in your exercise, in your own. But my channel, my YouTube channel, and a lot of times on Instagram, I share much more. So if you were to scroll through my page on Instagram or on YouTube, you might find me channeling. There's a lot of them are titled like activation or clearing. Often I am chanting or humming or just doing a clearing. Sometimes that's hand and light language. And so you can go and see some of that. That doesn't mean that's the right way to hear the mystic or be the mystic. It's one of the ways I channel. And channeling is writing for me sometimes. So it shows up all sorts of ways. Ultimately, what it means to do is receive and deliver your version of divine intelligence, infinite intelligence, and your gifts. And what I think is so special about this, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again today, is that everybody is a mystic. Everybody has this potential to live out infinite intelligence and channel and share. And it's going to look all sorts of ways for different people. That doesn't always mean oracally. It might be kinesthetically with your hands. It might be energetically reading energy and doing different things like that. It might be cooking. It might be raising children. Like it might be teaching. It might be a certain occupation or vocation. And so there's not one right way to do this. And that's what's so special about anybody taking on this challenge or this work, is that your gift is going to show up in your way and no one gets to form or shape that besides you. And so it's you listening and then you being. So be sure to come back tomorrow for day 3 of this challenge. We are making mystics of you. And I'm certainly going to be nurturing mystics. So if this conversation resonates with you, I would love for you to consider the Mystic Rising Retreat in Sedona in September. My idea, my guidance with that is to have you in Sedona where we are doing different exercises and I am supporting you integrating the mystic into your life, into your leadership, and perhaps into being able to deliver this to make a living. That doesn't mean you have to want to build a business, but maybe it means integrating it into the career or life you already have, into the relationships you already have, into your relationship with yourself. Okay? So let's keep it going. This is so much fun. I am enjoying sharing with you. I love coming live and just being able to riff and share and flow and channel. And so thank you for being here. I want to thank you on Facebook. You guys were very active in the comments. I saw Katie here. So you guys, thank you so much for just being here. It's so great. I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. All right. Facebook, goodbye. Have a good one.